Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a spotlight on Sila, Maplelea's Inuit character. Since she's the only canonically indigenous character in the Maplelea line, I decided I should do this for September 30th, which is Truth and Reconciliation Day. For anyone who doesn't know, I did a video a little bit more about it when I unboxed Sila this time last year. So I'm going to keep it more about Sila, unless I talk a little bit about the shirts later, the orange shirt, because Maplelea makes an orange shirt, and I'm wearing one right now, but it's not one of Maplelea's because I don't think they made them in human size. This is the fourth video in a series I've done now, which means I'm in the middle episode out of the 7 characters. And when I did Brienne's last month, I said that when I did the next one, it was going to be a little bit different. And what I meant by that is, for Saila, I only have 10 outfits, which wouldn't take too much time. So I feel like it's okay in this video if I show first all of her outfits, the 10 that I have anyway, on American Girl dolls, and then change the dolls off camera and show you how the same outfits look on Maplelea dolls because the bodies are quite different. Like the previous 3 girls, I am going to go into Sila's story, but because her story is more unique and special, I'm going to go into it a little bit more, and I hope some of you will stick around for it because it is really interesting, and I got to talk to Catherine for over an hour, pick her brain on the entire process of getting Sila done and why she was handled so specially and just how that all came to be. Because a lot of people, it took a village to build this doll, let me put it that way. And while Catherine did give me enough material to do an entire hour video on Sila's production, I'm going to try to streamline it. I'll tell the highlights, the parts that really stuck out of my mind. It's not like I was sitting there taking notes on in my phone or anything. So it really is just everything that stuck in my brain. To start with the basics, Sila is our Nunavut girl, and Nunavut is one of Canada's 3 territories because we have 3 territories and 10 provinces. And so far, she's the only girl not from a province. Like the other dolls, I can show you the nameplate that she comes with. So whether you buy, well, now it's only the smaller box, is no longer the big keepsake box. And if you look at her name, it's going to be like all the other girls. It's written in their favorite color. Hers is indigo. Some people may see it as purple, but it's specifically indigo. And then another difference with her journal is it's a lot thicker than the other journals, even though I only have 10 outfits, because her journal is the only one that comes in 3 languages. So every time you get a journal page or a new item, it's going to come with 4 journal pages. There'll be the English, French, Inuit, which is her language, and then a blank page. So that's why I might have to give her 2 journals eventually. Saila Kilivak is 10 years old, and this particular journal, it's going to be hard to flip through because of so many pages, is not the only journal that Catherine wrote. Usually she hires someone from the city that the girls come from, but this one she had such a hand in because, and that's where I'll talk a little bit more about the development of the story, that she ended up writing it herself, but with the help of the village that I mentioned earlier. I spoke in Leonie's Spotlight about the first 4 original core girls came out all at the same time, same face, mold, I mean, and then a few years later, Catherine Maplelea had a contest asking the people on the mailing list to write in a place they would like to see the doll come from next. And even though Leonie won, she came out next, there was actually a little bit of a tie. It was between Quebec, somewhere in our French-speaking province, or up north, so in our more Arctic areas. And it was easier for Catherine felt more comfortable going with the French character first, because the thing about throughout Canada, we've had a lot of Inuit dolls being sold throughout the years, and they're usually just very cheap plastic, not throwaway dolls, but souvenir dolls that you'd see in like a little corner shop. And they're not made the best. They're not made with the most respect. Not that they're disrespectful, but just the way the Inuits would say it, it's a white man telling the Inuit's tale. So that's why she was more apprehensive about going into Saila and thought, okay, let me work on Leonie, or the French doll. And then I know it's going to take a lot more work, and I'm going to really have to dig in deep to do service or to do justice to an Inuit doll. And I don't just want to, we did have Google, but it's like she wanted to be more hands-on and feel things if she was going to try to tell the story of a 10-year-old girl from Nunavut. The beginning of the development felt like it came from 2 different places. One, she had, through the dolls that had already sold, she had 6 Inuit families who lived in Nunavut on her mailing list that she reached out to ask if she came up to Nunavut, would she be able to speak with them, talk to them about their experiences, and sort of do a little interview just to glean information that she could mold or develop this doll through. And around the same time, it was Nunavut's 10-year anniversary. So because Nunavut only became a separate territory in 1999. which means it was around 2009 that she went to the celebration in Ottawa, where there was an elder from Nunavut who was talking about Nunavut. And so she had conversations with him, mentioned that she was going to be flying up to Nunavut. It was going to be over a Christmas holiday because her kids, Catherine's kids, were in high school at the time, so she was going to make a family outing out of it and, not expose, but have her whole family experience the life up in Nunavut. And the way Catherine told me all the stories, everyone was so welcoming, so excited. She started out these 6 families that she was going there to meet, and they would say, "Oh, you should go talk to this family. You should go talk to this person and find out more. Ask them these questions and learn more about what they do." And I can't go into all the specifics because it would be a really long video. And some of them, one thing to keep in mind, up in Nunavut they hunt. So some of the stories she would tell me, she preface them by saying, "I could never tell these stories, even though they are interesting because this is the way of life is very different." But she just made her rounds. Like sometimes she would be at a community center or a school, some kind of event, and someone would say, "Oh, talk to this little girl," and the girl would come over by and just, "Oh yeah, you can ask me a question." Like, "Well, where are your parents? I need to make sure that it's okay that I'm talking to you." So she just talked to so many people and she got to experience, not firsthand, but would be within proximity of firsthand experiences. And so a lot of the things you see in the journal were pictures that she took being there. So for example, this guy, I believe he's making soapstone animals, it's something like that. So this is an actual person, someone on the street. I'm sure she got his permission to put him in the journal. But some things are stock photos, but she said most of what you see is stuff she was able to capture while she was there with her family for that 2 weeks. And another cute little story that has nothing to do with Sila, but she gained such fast trust with everyone because they were all so eager to tell their story, knowing that it was going to be within this Canadian doll line, that somebody was going out of town and they said, "Oh, can you house sit for us?" I think it's just a different. You don't really leave your house unguarded if you're going to be away for a while. So this family she literally just met, she's like, okay, so she went to stay in their house sitting for them for, I don't know, it was a few days, less than a week, because she was only there for 2. And I do want to break to show you the doll for a little bit, because to talk a little bit more about her meet outfit. This is her starter outfit. So one of the things she noticed about all the kids up there was they would see, if you see, she's wearing a vest, which is to keep her warm, but then she's just got a t-shirt underneath, because she said, "Yeah, it's cold up there and kids don't care." It's like, even though everyone's cold, they're just used to it. So you would see kids running around with big boots, some kind of vest, and then just t-shirts, because I guess they're all running around anyway. They're used to it, and it's just a different lifestyle. And in Sila's journal, there's actually a glossary at the back of it, because part of the reason Catherine wanted to go there herself was not just to see how everyone lives and how these different things get made, because she, wanted the doll to be as authentic as possible. If she was writing about a culture or making dolls based on a culture that she doesn't know anything about, she wanted to get to know everything. She wanted to know how to make sure she was pronouncing all these words correctly, like amouti, and that's why if you go into the glossary at the end, it'll tell you how to pronounce these words. Some of her clothes are in her collection, so some of these will come up. So a lot of Sila's story itself, it's, for one thing, that a lot of people live together. So it's like it wouldn't just be an immediate family. So when she talks about her family in the beginning, Sila, in the beginning of her book, she talks about her sisters, but they're not all actually sisters. They're not sisters the way we would say sisters. And even though it looks like a big family living in Sila's house, all living together, it's actually a very not watered down version, but this is nothing compared to what you would actually see from the families who actually live up in Nunavut. So there'd be a lot of people living in the same house, and her father has multiple jobs, which is another thing that a lot of the Inuits experience is, they're not making enough from any one job to get by, so they're working multiple jobs. Because she mentions, I believe Sila's dad is a forest ranger, or Canadian ranger, sorry. I say forest ranger because that helps me remember it, but that's just one of the jobs that he does, even though you would think of a Canadian ranger would be enough to get by because it's a government job. And I don't think she went into the specifics of what a Canadian ranger is in the books, but she did explain it to me too, and I probably learned it in school, but I don't remember it. Canadian Rangers are people who within the Arctic it's their job to patrol the Arctic to make sure that the Arctic doesn't get invaded, because it's in a vulnerable land, because if you don't have enough habitat, people inhabiting it. It just seems like it's open land and nobody owns it. So they have to have these rangers constantly on the move and patrolling, making sure nobody's trying to invade, even in this day and age, but maybe now more so than ever. But it's something that's always been nonstop. And she did mention the Russians, and I don't want to pinpoint anybody saying, but I know that that's one of the groups they're making sure aren't coming in, or the Russians coming in to claim any of our territories. In the glossary at the end of the book that I already mentioned, Catherine has written it as Canadian Rangers, and then the definition: a reserve contingent of the Canadian Forces that helps the Army by patrolling the North to protect Canada's sovereignty, as well as do search and rescue and provide other humanitarian assistance. They're easily recognized by their red sweatshirts and ball caps, which is also talked about in the book. So yeah, this was something that I never really thought about because I live in a very populated city, and I don't think about these other parts of our country that are so. Most countries are like this, but whenever I venture out into any other parts of Canada, I'm so blown away by how different it is and how, I guess, spoiled I might seem or feel, at least being in the city. And there are a couple other, I guess I would say, impressive things to note about Saila and the work that went into her. Is, for one thing, when Saila was done and really was out on the market, I believe it's an education board of Nunavut or some sector of the government that was so thrilled with how Saila turns out that every year they source a whole bunch of the dolls and part of her collection so that they can put them in community centers and other education centers where kids could be exposed to her and see a positive role model who's a child living in Nunavut. So not only is it a testament how much work Catherine put into it, and many people put into it, it's also a pretty good customer to have, because every year they source a whole bunch of Sila stuff for all the kids around the territory. A while after the doll came out, there was also a radio station in Nunavut that invited Catherine to do an interview. And during the interview, the DJ mentioned that there was an elder in Nunavut who was really upset about her doing the doll, because I mentioned that earlier, that there have been a lot of issues with white man telling Inuit stories. And so he was letting her know about this elder who was really upset about Saila and saying how, it's just here's another white man telling our stories again. But then the DJ mentioned that the elder then read her journal and he changed his mind, and he's now a fan of Maplelea and really thrilled with how they depicted Saila and all the work that they went through. Because another thing that I glossed over was looking at the glossary. The Christmas games is, so almost every evening for 2 weeks over the Christmas period, many people gather in a community hall. I was saying school before, it's community hall. It was the Christmas games where Catherine was interviewing the little girls and partaking in all the different festivities and trying the different food and getting and immersing herself within the culture as much as possible. So it's a family-oriented event that includes a feast of country foods on one of the nights. And like I said, Catherine told me a lot. She went into a lot of details that could make this a really long video. I hope I've skimmed some of the interesting things that she mentioned or told me about. So I hope some of that was, I hope that was enough and not too much or too little, because I could always talk about her again in another video, right? Especially with everything that Catherine told me. And now to go back to the doll a little bit, I just want to sort of bounce off what I said a moment ago about having the dolls be sourced out every year to put them in the education centers throughout Nunavut. That means not only is she a popular doll because collectors like her, and I haven't even mentioned that yet, that she is popular among doll collectors, even outside of, I almost want to say especially outside of Maplelea, because people tend to know her. So the reason I'm saying that is because not only is it collectors who are vying for her, it's the Department of Education, or I couldn't, I tried to look it up and I forgot who it was. I should have taken notes. Meaning that there's also another big customer who every year is buying up a lot of Sila stuff. And that's why she is currently sold out on the website. And I noticed earlier in the month that she was low stock. So I don't know, there's no indication of when she's coming back. She's a core girl, so she will be back. I just don't know when. There's no indication yet, as unlike Leonie, another girl who's sold out, but we know she's coming back sometime this fall. There's not even an indication of a season for Saila. It wasn't just the development of the doll that, having a Canadian sculptor and speaking with the people to find out, or to develop her into a very authentic Inuit doll. She also, I've talked about this before, but she's the only Maplelea doll with these blunt, thicker, darker eyelashes. Usually the Maplelea dolls have sort of wispier eyelashes they range from blonde to brown, but hers are actually black, just like her hair is quite black. I don't think there's any brown in her hair. So it's not just the doll that they were developing to become very authentic. it's a lot of the clothes. So part of her story is she's a fashion designer. I went so much into development, I didn't say anything about her story, but she's a fashion designer. So her story is that she likes to mix traditional with modern twists. And what I mentioned before, so this traditional garment right here, so this is called the Amazing Amouti, which is the word that I was talking about inside the glossary. One of the words she wanted to learn how to pronounce, not just to see how it's made and to learn how to source making a realistic one. She also wanted to, make sure she could say it, and now I can too because of her. But this Amouti, the reason I'm talking about it is because, unfortunately, I would have loved to have shared it in this video, and I was hoping it would restock by the time I did this video. But while I was there asking Catherine, I found out that this is retired because they can no longer source it. What was happening was they would source garment makers in Nunavut who would make it just like the human Amouti, and then shrink it down to doll size. But it's no longer available. I think it's no longer sustainable, or just it's no longer feasible to have them do that. So she will have a new Amouti this year, and maybe it'll be up soon. But I kicked myself thinking, because last year when I was trying to build up all of her collection, it was all at once. So I'm starting from scratch with her, and it was an expensive piece, $90 Canadian. But if I had known, because I mentioned before that if you don't buy them quickly when they restock, they sell out. And I was saying that to follow my own advice this year, but too late, I can't have it. And so anyone else out there who has it, just know that it's a very amazing piece. And then of course, if they're not sourcing it in Nunavut anymore, the new one that's coming out, that'll be made overseas in Asia where the rest of the clothes are made. So it'll still be, I guess, authentic as far as design goes, but it won't be made authentically. And I just wanted to talk about that because she also has the Arctic hat and mittens, which I will show you later because I have those. And I guess I'll quickly show you her pages before I move on, because now I can finally start showing you the outfits on the dolls and talk a little bit about them individually. But yeah, as you see when you look at her pages, it's a lot of indigo to show off her favorite color. I only have 10 outfits, so I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm going to start with an outfit called Ptarmigan's Rock, and it's just shown on one of my Trilly Me dolls. Ptarmigans are I was going to say national bird. They're the territorial bird, so they're the bird of Nunavut. So if you want to look at the bird up here, that's what that's based on. And this is more of a summery outfit. You'd wonder when somebody in Nunavut would be able to wear this. But like I said, the kids are running around like this. It's cold, but they don't mind. And it's a cute casual outfit. It came out in 2013. I don't think I have much to say about it. I've had it on Sila for a long time since I've had it. Just a baseball cap, shirt, and capris. And even though it didn't come with a pair of shoes, it's usually shown with a pair of shoes, which I don't have. So I'm giving them an American Girl a pair of Birkenstock type sandals, and then when I change them later on, I'll give them a Maplelea pair of Maplelea Birkenstock type sandals. This is a retired outfit. Came out in 2013, so it's probably obvious. And so is this next outfit here called Nunavut Now, which is an outfit I absolutely love. So glad I was able to track it down. It's being worn by a custom Tiana doll. The only thing to keep, I should point out, is these shoes don't go with this outfit. Or they match it, but it actually came with a pair of shoes. But when I bought this outfit, it was incomplete. So it comes with quite a few pieces. It would normally come with shoes, a pair of gray tights, and then there's a gray long sleeve shirt underneath that I like to show sticking out from underneath this cardigan. And then it's got a cute denim skirt with a very Inuit style belt, if I can get this undone. Yeah, so it's a very cute, complete look. The bandana doesn't go with it. It's just to hold her hair back because of the style she has. So when I show it on a Maplelea doll, I won't have to show you with that. I can show you how it's kind of meant to be. The last outfit from this batch is recently retired. It's her polar bear PJs, which are on another Truly Me doll. Is it 91? It's the blue-haired one, 90 maybe. And even though it comes with these blue slippers, so the pajamas come with this, and it comes with this polar bear teddy, I pair it with her polar bear slippers, which are still available. So I don't know if that means if she has another pajama set coming. I would imagine that's the case, but it does pair so perfectly with the slippers down here that I hope if she does get another set of pajamas, they have something to do with polar bears. But the other thing is, Maplelea makes a lot of Christmas themed pajamas, and I think a lot of them have polar bears on it anyway. So even if you don't have these pajamas, you definitely would be able to find a set that they would match. So now let me put 3 Maplelea dolls in these so that you can see the difference. So take a mental pick, because I only have one of each outfit. Now, even if you can see the differences between the bodies, you don't know the difference until you've changed an American Girl doll, swapped outfits between them, because everything fits so differently. The capris are suddenly a little bit shorter. The sleeves are shorter. If you, not even a short sleeve shirt, but the long sleeve shirt that fit American Girl so perfectly are they're lankier. So it's almost like you feel like, sometimes I feel like the clothes were made for American Girl because their shorter limbs fit it better. It's still cute, but I'm just saying I get used to how some things look, and it's like, oh, I have to adjust to that now. But the pajamas I think fit Maplelea really well because they're even a little bit long on American Girl, which is cute, and it's cute that it still fits them nicely too. So here are the first 3 outfits, and let me move on to the next 3. All right, so this next outfit isn't part of the glossary, so you're gonna have to forgive my pronunciation. I'm just kind of guessing here that it's called Catajack Giggles. I guess my pronunciation doesn't matter. What matters is it's such a nice outfit, and I feel like anytime I put it on a different doll, it completely changes the look of the outfit. So right now I've got it on Deepika, who is a limited edition Jasmine doll, and the shoes. I don't like how the shoes that come with this look on American Girl, so I just I gave her the sandals from the Kwanzaa outfit. And it's just a dress that comes with the belt on it, a pair of tights, and black shoes that I'll show you better on the Maplelea doll when I change everybody up. Now the next outfit is on the verge of being retired. This one is retired, but this one is in low stock and they only have certain sizes left because it's Arctic Animals dress for girls and dolls. So you would buy this dress that comes with a girl size dress, and I got the smallest size they had just because I don't know, I feel like it's more fair than taking a dress that a bigger girl would probably want to wear with her doll. And the shoes don't come with it, but they're a perfect match. I'm going to imagine they were paired with it or designed to go with this dress because the colors, it can't be a coincidence. It's a cute, very simple dress, and so it's very thin, like a cottony, almost like a nighty kind of dress, like a long t-shirt, I guess you could say. But it's, like I said, it came with a dress for a little girl, so I think that was kind of the main attraction to it. But like I said, it's on its way out, so last chance. But then this next outfit is pretty new. It came out last Christmas, or last winter, I should say. It's the Bear Hug sweater dress, which I've paired with a pair of Maplelea boots, and I don't know where these earmuffs came. They were in a lot, but I'm not sure if I'm sure they're American Girl, but regardless, the outfit itself comes with the long dress, the knit dress, and the blue tights. And because the limbs are so different, I think the tights probably come up to about, I don't know, somewhere very far up on her body. But you don't see it, so it's okay. Anyway, I'm showing you the whole thing, even though it's really just the dress and the tights. And I always like to obviously pair it with other things to make it a full ensemble, because most of their outfits do come with no shoes because, I don't know, I guess it keeps the price of the outfits down and you can pair them with whatever you want if you already have boots. So maybe that's part of the thinking behind it. But now let me show you these 3 outfits on Maplelea dolls. When I first brought this outfit out, I was so nervous about pronouncing the name that I didn't say how much I love this outfit, but I do. And I did mention that it's very diverse. You put on a different doll and it completely changes. And these are the shoes that it comes with, these long flats. And I don't love how these look on American Girl. That's why this particular style. They fit, but it just feels to me like the foot ends up looking bloated around here, and then it just comes thin in the toe. So I prefer these types of shoes on Maplelea dolls. But anyway, this is my KMF 30 doll. A lot of you may be familiar with her because I show her a lot. I like her a lot. And then this is how this outfit looks on. I forgot to point out, on a Maplelea doll, I forgot to point out to take a mental note of how these sandals looked on Elsa, because the leather strap, braided straps, are very narrow. So you really have to sort of stretch them over the doll's foot. And I worked these on enough American Girl dolls that they are a little bit stretched out now. I would imagine that they would sit tighter on a Maplelea doll foot if they were never disturbed by American Girl feet. And then the last outfit, is on KMF 51, another doll I've shown a lot. And just show you the difference. If you're curious, I know it's different because you could see it in stock photos how it looks, but it's always different, of course, to see it on video, 3D kind of thing. Very nice outfits, right? Let me move on to the next ones. I have another retired outfit coming up called Tunic Time. this is complete boots and all. And I haven't shown it. I don't even think I've tried it on a Maplelea doll yet. First time I showed it was on her. I think I've only had it on her actually. And it's so, I know it's going to look different. Not just based on pics, but based on the bodies. Like when I have this on an American Girl, she almost has like an hourglass figure. It's so funny. I like it. It looks cute, but it's just so funny that because I don't think it's going to look like this on a Maplelea doll, which I'll show in a second. Anyway, this is just a custom doll. If you're confused, don't look into it too much. And I'm kind of breezing through it, but it's, you know, same thing as the was it None of It Now, where she's got an under, sort of like if you took off this outer piece, she's almost got pajamas on, the tights and a long sleeve shirt, boots, and then this piece up here. But I don't know if you need to know all that. Just letting you know I'm breezing through it, but I shouldn't have, because I do want to talk about this next outfit a little bit longer because there's a lot more to it. And everything Corinne's wearing is still available. It's the Apudi parka and the Arctic hat and mitts. And so when you buy the Apudi parka, it's just the boots, the pants, which are like snow pants, and then this big coat over here. And then you would buy the hat and the mittens come as a set, and they're a perfect match to this. So that's why I think it just makes the most sense to show them together. And it's funny to show it on Corinne because I had her displayed in her ski outfit. So I just feel like this is the only way I've ever seen her in my life, is either this or, because it doesn't look that different if you think about it, because it's a ski outfit. It's just, yeah, instead of skiing, maybe she would go snowboarding or dog sledding or something. Now, because I only have two more dolls or two more outfits to show after this, I figured I might as well do two at a time instead of having 4 dolls on screen, because it gets really, really busy looking up here. So let me now change these outfits, put them on Maplelea dolls so you can see how they look in comparison. Did you take a mental pic? Okay, good. Tunic time is another instance where the length of the sleeves may fit an American Girl better. And also could be that when they go on American Girl, they spread differently, because I don't think it should be sitting this loosely on her wrist. But regardless, I do love this outfit, and I probably will keep it as an American Girl outfit. Don't even think you need to know that, but I'm just saying I'll keep it on her for a bit, see how I feel. But it looks very different. I think you get used to one thing. This is a customized KMF 31, if you're wondering. So she's got Claudia's wig. That's why if she doesn't look completely normal, that's the reason. And I'm laughing already because I'm about to bring out the Apudi parka on KMF 10, who is the East Asian mold. And a lot of people, when they're new or don't really know Maplelea very well, they always confuse the two molds. So if you, there might have been a moment, if I didn't spoil it, that you would have thought it was Sila, like I had an extra, which I don't need more than one Sila. So here's how it looks on Maplelea. Very cute. She looks so snug. I don't know. I might keep her in this for a while. She looks really cute. I like it. And I just have 2 more dolls and then a little surprise. The next item is Sila's Kusbuk, which is a traditional Inuit garment. So it's part of the Heritage collection if you look at that boutique on Maplelea's website. So she has quite a few things, though, I believe, in her Heritage section. It probably would have been the Apudi parka, and definitely the Mountie, the thing that I will never have. But anyway, when you buy it, it's just this part. I put on a pair of American Girl tights and these really cute Maplelea Ugg style boots that I don't know what they are, but I bought them loose, but I just don't know what they were. And unlike the garments, the Maplelea garments, they don't have a tag telling you what the name of it is. So it's really pretty, really cute. It's a really cute pattern, and it's really easy to put on because it velcros all the way down the back, and then you can work the hood over their head. Because I just think if it didn't open all the way up, when I first opened it, I was like, how am I going to get this on? And I was so relieved that it velcros all the way. So this one's still available. I don't know if I made that clear. And so is the last outfit that I have to show. It's called Kimra Jewels. It's just the pants, the top, the hoodie, and the belt. So it doesn't come with boots. I think it would have been a more efficient way of saying that. And I have it modeled on my Truly Me 112, I believe. She's Truly Me 4, very obvious. And it's a really cute fit on American Girl. I love it. I love all the little details. These are a pair of Maplelea boots because, like I said, they don't come with any footwear. But there are so many boots you could pair with this outfit. And I think that's kind of why they leave it up to interpretation. You can dress it up however you want. And this is super, super soft. The hoodie. Denim feels really quality. I'm telling you this because it's still available. So it's like if you're curious about it, it's very easy to track down. So I think that's all I need to say about these 2 outfits on American Girl. Let me put them in Maplelea dolls. Put them on Maplelea dolls. Can't believe I waited this long to bring out Rosie. This is my KMF-12, and some of you will know that she was my ultimate grail, and sometimes I still can't believe I have her, and it's been months. But here, this is to show you how different things look on the Maplelea body. So let me just focus on that. And she's wearing American Girl tights. See, they fit. Isn't she precious? I said I was just trying to focus on the outfit, but no, look at that face. I love this doll. And then the last, another doll I love, Anya over here. She's wearing the Kimmerit Jewels outfit, I think it's called. You know what? I'll look up the names and then my brain will immediately release it after I think I don't need to say it ever again. And she's usually she doesn't usually dress. I find this a little bit sporty fit-wise. She normally doesn't dress like this. So it's interesting to see her this way with her perfect little curls that I'm very protective of. And I think that's all I have to say now. But I guess I can show you Sila's outfit a little bit better because I didn't mention any of the KS numbers going through because it would be Catherine, Sila, 1 would be the doll, and KS2 would be her accessory pack. I didn't do all that this time because it would make me feel like I need to go in order and I didn't want to go in numeric order. And so I didn't really talk about how the dolls have an accessory pack, but for hers, I only have the backpack from it. And that's what's been kind of hiding behind her back this whole time. And I feel like all the accessory packs are gone and they're not coming back. They're all retired. This is one of her dogs I managed to track down, but apparently so it's a husky and then that's the puppy. So apparently they're coming back, which means my husky will have 2 puppies because it's a really cute, soft puppy. And I think because they aim for such realism with their pets, with their animals, they're having a harder time sourcing them. Whereas, like when I compare them to my American Girl pets, which I love, it's just I do notice that there's a difference between how realistic they seem to be with the Maplelea animals. And there are a few more Sila pieces that her sled came back, I think is one of the things I'm thinking about. But I was assessing if I have room for it. I was going to buy it just to have it and, to have it in this video. But I'm really trying to downsize a lot of my bigger pieces like that. So I didn't get it. However, it's back. It's $80 if anyone's curious. I feel like it's another piece that sells out a lot because it's a very traditional piece. And when I talked about earlier for them working so hard to get an authentic Inuit doll, a lot of those pieces are very important to her collection. So with her being Inuit and this being Orange Shirt Day, I do want to bring the orange shirt dolls that have been sort of hiding over my shoulder the whole video, just to talk about them and to talk about that little surprise I mentioned. So back in a sec. I've talked about these shirts a lot on my channel before. It's the Every Child Matters orange shirt in conjunction with Orange Shirt Day, hence the shirt I've been wearing. I've talked about them because Maplelea has made them to raise money for the Every Child Matters campaign. I believe they're $10 and $3 from every shirt goes towards Orange Shirt Day. So 30% of what they make goes towards the foundation. And unfortunately, they're sold out right now. So I guess they do really well. And I have 3 myself. I don't know how many I would have, because I feel like every Orange Shirt Day, I want to get more and have more dolls wearing them for the 30th. And so unfortunately, I couldn't buy any more this year, but I'm sure they'll restock. There's no date listed on the website the last I checked before recording this. If that changes, it just means you're more current than this video is. And it probably seems weird that I'm having a Sila video and I'm ending by talking about Orange Shirt, because these aren't a part of her collection. These are part of the Any Doll collection, so it's KM instead of KS. But I believe when you look up Sila, it shows up as part of her collection. Like, it shows up if you look up, I believe, at least at one point, maybe when it's in stock, it did. And it's not listed in her pages, I don't think, in the catalog, at least last year's. So yeah, it's kind of weird that I'm ending the Sila video without Sila on screen. Maybe she's behind me, but she's not on my table. I mentioned back in the beginning of the video, near the beginning of the video, that Sila is sold out. She sold out earlier this month, not too long ago. So I'm really glad that in the beginning of the month, when I saw that she was low stock, I thought to buy an extra Sila. And I bought her because I want to do a secret giveaway. And I'm saying it's a secret giveaway because I'm not posting on the thumbnail or the title that I'm giving away a Sila doll in this video. I'm just doing it as a thank you to the people who get through all my videos. You get to the end, it's just a surprise at the end. And I know sometimes they're really long-winded and I go into too much detail. And some of you humor me so much that that's why I wanted to pick up this Sila doll, who is now sold out. And like I said, there's no indication when she's coming back. And even when I bought her earlier this month, so it's meaning it's not, this isn't endorsed by Maplelea in any way. I inquired if there were, how many were left, because I was like, oh, I have this video coming up that I know I want to buy them for. They're just, well, all they said was, well, if you want to buy, I'd probably do it soon. So I didn't know if that meant there were 3 left or whatever. But anyway, she did end up selling out shortly after I bought her. So I'm really glad I did. Because like I said, I wanted to thank people, but I only have one. So please understand that I'll explain the rules in a second, but I just want to show you the doll that's going to be up for a giveaway before I get into all the nitty gritty of it. So this is my giveaway Sila. Sorry to crack open the box. I hope you don't, whoever wins her doesn't mind. So let me just show you this beauty who's going to be available. And like I said, she's not available, and who knows when she'll come back, because like I said, she's popular, and Maplelea has a big customer in the education of Nunavut. Now the rules are very simple. I don't need you to prove that you're subbing or anything like that. Like I said, it's just it's a thank you to people for viewing these videos, because not these videos, but my videos, and in particular, you know, the Maplelea videos that I just talk and talk and talk. But it's not my fault. I have access to all this information. So all you need to do to enter is comment in the video somewhere in the comment section, and put in the comment either the word orange, truth, or reconciliation. And there are going to be bonus entries that I know what they are, but I'm not going to tell you what they are because it's too late anyway, if whether you qualify for them or not. And the contest, if that's what we want to call it, is open for a week. So it's September 30th that I'll be uploading this video. So I believe that means October 7th. But believe me, a week is enough time. I don't really get any comments after a few days that a video goes live. So I don't think anyone's going to see this after that point and want to enter. But just so you know, if you do happen to see this video after October 7th, 2025, the contest is already closed. And then I will do an announcement the week after. So I believe that's going to be around the 14th, sometime that week. It may not be on the 14th, but sometime that week. So that'll give me a week to sort of go through all the entries, figure out all the bonus entries that the people who are entering have, and then do some, you know, those online, you just put everything into a spreadsheet or whatever, and it picks a winner for you. And then I will do a video in which that's how I'll announce the winner. So that's another thing. You have to be okay with me saying your username in a video, and then I hope you will comment in that announcement video that you're here, because we'll have to establish, either we'll get in touch with each other through Instagram or email or something. We'll figure that part out when we get to it, because I don't know how else you can't message people on YouTube, so it'll probably be through Instagram or Facebook or something like that. We'll figure that out. But like I said like 5 minutes ago, I don't need an extra Sila, so this is definitely something I'm excited to gift to someone, because it doesn't have to be someone, or cousins to the south, as I say, but just so you know, you won't have to pay for anything. Whoever wins, I'll be shipping her. And as of about a month ago, maybe, we Canadians, when we send to the US, we have to download this app and put in all the information, where it's going, if we're a business. And if there are any tariffs, we, as the sender, pay them up front. So I'm saying is, if it's an American who wins, I'm not saying it has to be, but it could be. Don't worry about tariffs. I will cover those too. It's just, again, a way to say thank you. And let me think if there are any more rules I have to say. Well, it's not really a rule, but as I'm recording this, Canada Post went on strike just a couple days ago, and I'm hoping that the 2 weeks between now and the closing and the announcement, that they'll have figured something out and I can send through Canada Post. Because if not, that's the only other thing, is there may be a little bit of a delay. But if there's not a delay, if Canada Post is open, I will be shipping her right away, because I'm excited for the next person. I'm excited for whoever wins her to get her and see her in person. So it would be nice if somebody who has been curious about Maplelea but hasn't been able to buy them for whatever reason, tariffs, or, you know, just because it doesn't have to be an American. I'm sorry if I keep making it sound that way, but I'm saying anyone out there is eligible. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm cherry picking who wins. So in recap, in your comment, say orange, truth, or reconciliation. Doesn't have to be all three. That's not the bonus. That's not the bonus entries. And then I will work out the bonus entries and explain that. Deadline is October 7th to enter. And then I will do the announcement of the winner week of October 14th. So maybe around the 16th, let's say. Give me a couple days extra just in case. And so in that video, I will be saying your name on camera. So you have to be okay with that. And then we'll have to figure out a way to get in touch with each other. It could be Instagram, but I'm not asking you to follow me there because I'm not active there. I'm just using it as an easier way to message people. I think I over-explained just because I've never done a giveaway before, and because I'm doing it in such a sneaky little way. I hope no one's upset. But anyway, like I said, it's to thank people. So that was a lot, right? Nothing new for me, and that's why, hence the giveaway. So thank you for hanging out with me in this special video, I would say, because I've never done a giveaway before. And before I close out, I guess a little note I want to say, since I've got your attention probably at this point, if you're still here, is there are times that I sit down with so many things to say, and as much as I do say, you have no idea how many things I end up skipping. I look back, I'm like, oh, I should have said that. And this video is probably the worst for it because I had so much in my head that I know it wouldn't have all fit in a video, but especially if somebody at Maplelea sees this and is wondering why there was so much I didn't say, it's just because I think something happens when the camera goes on that a part of my brain just shuts off, and not that I black out, I remember everything, but I'm just saying, I don't always remember everything that I want to say. Okay, so, but believe me, I try, and I run over a lot of it in my head beforehand. It's just, everyone's weird when camera starts rolling, I think. So now I think I've said all I need to say, maybe even too much. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me in this special video, because it's my first time ever doing a giveaway, so let's see how it goes. So once again, thanks for hanging out with me, and hopefully I'll see you soon in the next video.